So civilization depends on social capital formation. Social capital formation depends on trust. And trust is mediated in the brain by the release of this hormone, this oxytocin hormone.
Exactly right.
Okay. And so that's kind of the physiologic substrate for accumulating social capital. That would be one way to think about it?
Exactly right.
And it's all based on non-zero, on somehow that if I give something to you, then you're going to give something back, and the aggregate is going to be bigger than if I just keep it all to myself.
Exactly right. So the economists call this gains from trade. So we both benefit from this. As you said, it depends critically on social capital. Even in the modern world, we've shown that cross-country levels of trust, which vary substantially from 2% in Brazil to 66% in Norway, are strongly associated with the rates of increase in living standards in those countries. So higher trust countries grow much more quickly than lower trust countries, which have little or no growth. So it's oxytocin that's underpinning the system. So why have we in the West been able to generate prosperity? Because of love. It all comes down to love, right? So oxytocin is the chemical for love. So think about that for a second.
Yeah.
We're rich because we love others.
That's really beautiful, because it kind of inverts the standard model of capitalism being selfish. Actually, what you're saying is that the accumulation of social capital depends on, to some extent, selflessness, or which self-interest, rightly understood, is what Adam Smith said. Is
Very
that
good.
Right?
Exactly
okay,
right.
So there's some level of self-interest that evolves into concern and care for others.
That's right, because we're social creatures and we
Yeah.
can't survive on the planet by ourselves.
Right.
Very few of us can.
Right.
We're so dependent on other people,
Right.
and we are betting our lives in a real sense that those people are reciprocators. And we find that, again, 98% of the world are reciprocators. They have an intact oxytocin system. This is based on thousands of studies, thousands of individuals I've studied, and 2% aren't. So we'd expect some bad behavior, and those 2% are very important. They keep us on our neural toes. If we didn't have the psychopaths who would want to cheat us, the con men, we would lose the ability to discriminate between the reciprocators and the non-reciprocators, the trustworthy and the non-trustworthy.
Yeah.
So those 2%, even though they are very costly, they're a much larger, maybe 40% of the prison population, they are important to tune our brain. We need contrast to learn who to trust, who not to trust, and we teach our children this.
Yeah, that's part of stranger awareness, I guess.
Right,
so,
exactly.
So we need to teach them to recognize strangers as people they don't know, and to go through a kind of a set of checks, if you will, to determine whether they're trustworthy, to maintain their safety. Okay. So we have to maintain these kinds of threat detectors, but they always have to be in balance with our capacity for openness at some level. Is that right? Or for trust?
That's right. So we're maintaining this balance between appropriate levels of trust and distrust. So at either end of the distribution of that, gullibility, I trust everybody, and paranoia, I trust nobody, it's not adaptive for social creatures. But for each interaction that we engage in, we have to say, how much trust will I show this person? And that's what our laboratory experiments sought to do, is to sort of quantify the degree of trust in someone by using monetary transfers.